There's something beneath the surface of all we do. A silent pulse, an invisible current, flowing through every breath, every heartbeat, every thought. It's not electricity, not emotion, not even consciousness in the way we usually understand it. It's older than language, deeper than science, and more real than any fleeting feeling. We call it life force energy. When this energy flows freely, we thrive. We feel connected, alert, purposeful. There's a sense of inner balance, an ease in our movements, clarity in our minds, warmth in our hearts. But when this energy becomes blocked, depleted, or scattered, we feel the effect. Fatigue sets in. Our thoughts become foggy. We feel anxious, disconnected, unmotivated. Illness can arise, not just physical, but emotional and spiritual. Every tradition that worked with this energy developed systems to understand and regulate it. In Chinese medicine, practitioners mapped out channels called meridians, which carry qi throughout the body. Acupuncture, herbal medicine, and movement practices like Tai Chi and Qigong were all designed to keep that energy balance. In India, the yogic sciences speak of prana flowing through channels called nadis, converging at energy centers known as chakras. Practices like yoga, meditation, and breathwork are used to purify, awaken, and direct this life force. In Japanese healing arts, Reiki emerged as a way to channel qi through the hands to bring healing and harmony. But beyond these systems and techniques, life force energy is something deeply personal. You've felt it when you were truly in the moment, laughing with friends, creating art, dancing freely, or even just sitting in stillness, feeling the present moment without needing anything more. These are the times when your life force rises to the surface. You become a vessel for vitality, and life flows through you rather than around you. What drains your energy isn't just physical exertion. It's emotional stress, mental clutter, disconnection from your true self. You can be well-rested yet exhausted inside if you're constantly battling inner conflicts or living a life that isn't aligned with who you are. Life force thrives in truth. The more you deny your needs, silence your voice, or suppress your emotions, the more your energy contracts. But the more you express, accept, and align, the more your energy expands. One of the most powerful ways to reconnect with life force energy is through the breath. It's the bridge between body and spirit, between the conscious and the unconscious. Breathing happens automatically, yet the moment you bring awareness to it, it becomes a tool for transformation. When you breathe slowly and deeply, your nervous system calms, your heart rate steadies, your mind begins to quiet, your body opens, energy begins to flow. It's in the breath that many ancient systems found their anchor. Pranayama, the yogic science of breath control, is more than just a breathing exercise. It's a way to gather, regulate, and expand prana within the body. Breath becomes medicine, and through it, the whole body heals. In qigong, breath is paired with gentle movement and mental focus to cultivate qi. Even in Western therapeutic practices, breath is used to relieve anxiety, lower stress, and reconnect to the present. Stillness also plays a key role. We live in a world that rarely stops moving. We're surrounded by noise, externally and internally. But to truly feel life force energy, you must slow down. You must listen, not with your ears but with your being. In stillness, you begin to notice the subtle sensations in your body. A tingling in the fingers, a warmth in the chest, a gentle rhythm in the belly. These are not accidents. These are whispers of energy, reminders that something deeper is always alive within you. And then there is nature. If you ever doubt the existence of life force, step outside. Watch how the wind moves the trees, how the sun nurtures life without asking for anything in return, how water flows with ease yet shapes entire landscape. Nature doesn't resist. It doesn't force. It flows, and in doing so, it thrives. When you immerse yourself in it, even briefly, you absorb that same vitality. You remember your own rhythm, your own harmony, your own belonging. The energy of life is always around us. In the pulse of the earth, the spark of a sunrise, the quiet glow of the moon. It's in the laughter of children, the touch of a loved one, the beauty of art, the mystery of dreams. You don't need to chase it. You need only to remember it, to feel it again, to return to it. This journey is not about learning something new. It's about returning to something ancient, something you've always known but maybe forgot along the way. Life force energy isn't a concept to be understood, it's a presence to be experienced. And once you begin to sense it, even in small moments, your relationship with yourself and the world around you begins to shift. You start waking up with more clarity. You begin to feel more deeply. You start noticing synchronicities, connections, and meanings that were once invisible. You feel more alive, not just because your body is functioning, but because your spirit is engaged. You feel more whole. This is just the beginning. As we move forward, the path will lead us deeper into the practices that awaken life force energy, the habits that nourish it, and the choices that protect it. But for now, take a moment. Close your eyes. Breathe. Feel your heart beating, not just as a function of biology, but as proof that life itself is moving through you, that you are and always have been filled with a sacred energy that longs to be known. Let this be your return, not to anything outside of you, but to the power that's always lived within. There is a certain intelligence woven into your very being, something ancient that doesn't speak in words but in sensations, symbols, and silent urgings. This intelligence is your life force energy, quietly guiding you beneath the surface of your thoughts, gently shaping your desires, nudging you toward expansion even when you fear collapse. It's there in the moments you feel most connected, most alive, most aligned with something greater than yourself. It's not always loud or dramatic. More often, it's a subtle knowing, a sacred current that pulses through your breath, your heartbeat, and your intuitive yes. The modern world rarely teaches us how to feel this energy, let alone trust it. We're taught to measure our worth in achievements, to organize our lives around productivity, to ignore the quiet wisdom of the body in favor of the louder logic of the mind. We numb our sensitivity with noise, distract ourselves from discomfort with constant stimulation, and trade deep presence for the illusion of control. And in doing so, we lose touch with the very source of our vitality. We begin to feel disconnected, restless, burned out, not because we're broken, but because we've been unplugged from our essence. To reconnect, we must first slow down. We must learn to listen again, not with our ears, but with our whole being. This kind of listening is an art, a return to receptivity. It means tuning in to the sensations in your body, noticing where your energy feels dense or light, recognizing what brings you alive and what leaves you depleted. It means trusting your feelings, not as problems to fix, but as messengers revealing where your energy is flowing freely and where it's being blocked. Everything you need to know is already within you. Your job is to remember how to listen. As you begin this reconnection, you may encounter old emotional patterns, hidden grief, buried tension. This is part of the process. When energy has been trapped for years, even lifetimes, it doesn't always release gently. It rises to the surface asking to be felt, acknowledged, honored. Your body remembers every suppressed cry, every unspoken truth, every time you chose safety over self-expression. And now, as you soften and open, your body says it's time. Time to feel what was unfelt. Time to move what was stuck. Time to reclaim what was lost. This is the work of healing, not fixing yourself, but freeing yourself. Life force energy cannot flow through a body riddled with self-rejection. It thrives in acceptance, in self-compassion, in the spaciousness of presence. As you breathe deeply, move intentionally, and create space for your emotions to unfold, your energy begins to uncoil. It no longer needs to fight or hide. It begins to trust again, to expand, to dance through your being with a freedom you may not have felt in years. With this freedom comes a new kind of clarity. You begin to see that life is not a constant uphill climb or a checklist of accomplishment. Life is an experience of energy in motion. The more you align with your natural flow, the more synchronicities arise, the more ease finds you, the more life seems to meet you halfway. It's not magic, it's resonance. When your internal vibration is coherent, your external reality begins to mirror it. Relationships deepen, opportunities appear, your path becomes less about effort and more about alignment. You start to notice the subtle energies around you, the energy of spaces, the unspoken emotions of others, the frequency of your own words and actions. This awareness isn't meant to overwhelm you but to empower you. It allows you to navigate life with greater sensitivity and intention. You begin to choose environments that support your energy, foods that nourish rather than deplete, conversations that inspire rather than drain. You stop giving your energy to what no longer serves your growth, not out of avoidance, but out of reverence for your own life force. And this reverence deepens your relationship with yourself. You no longer see your body as something to fix or force, but as a sacred vessel of life energy. You treat it with care. You listen when it whispers before it has to scream. You rest when you're tired, move when you're stagnant, nourish when you're hungry, for food, for love, for meaning. You become your own healer, your own guide. Not because you have all the answers, but because you trust the wisdom within. This trust becomes your compass. You stop needing external validation to feel worthy. You stop measuring your value by how busy or useful you are. You begin to value peace over performance, truth over perfection. And in this shift, you find power, not the kind that dominates or controls, but the kind that radiates from a centered presence. This is the power of alignment, the power of a person connected to their source. When you are in this space, you don't have to chase anything. You attract what is meant for you. You draw in experiences, people, and possibilities that resonate with your frequency. You become a magnet for authenticity, because you are no longer hiding who you are. Somewhere deep within you is a memory of wholeness, a place untouched by fear, shame, or fragmentation. A quiet space where your energy moves freely, where your breath is unburdened, and your presence is enough. This memory is not imagined. It is real. It's the part of you that has always known how to flow with life, how to trust its rhythm, how to rest in its wisdom. When you reconnect with your life force energy, you're not becoming someone new, you're remembering who you already are. But in this world, that memory gets buried. We're raised in systems that teach us to ignore our inner voice, to prioritize productivity over peace, to chase validation instead of truth. We're taught to tighten, to conform, to suppress what makes us unique. And so our energy adapts. It folds in on itself. It gets quiet. Not because it's gone, but because it's waiting. Waiting for you to stop, to listen, to come home to yourself again. That return is the real work. That return is the healing. Every time you choose stillness over distraction, your energy softens. Every time you listen to your body instead of overriding it, your energy trusts you a little more. Every time you honor your intuition, even when it doesn't make sense to the mind, your life force begins to rise. Not all at once, not with fireworks, but gently, patiently, like a sunrise that slowly fills the sky. This is the nature of real transformation. It is quiet, subtle, and deeply alive. You begin to notice what drains you and what fuels you. You realize that some habits don't just waste time, they steal your vitality. You start to see how overstimulation, constant noise, and artificial rhythms pull you away from your core. And so you start making different choices, not from guilt, but from wisdom. You begin to prioritize restoration over performance, nourishment over numbing, depth over distraction. You begin to protect your life force like it matters, because it does. There's a power in boundaries, not the kind built from fear or control, but the kind rooted in love. When you say no to what depletes you, you say yes to what restores you. When you walk away from people or patterns that keep you small, your energy starts to expand. Boundaries are not walls, they are rivers that guide your flow. They are the structures that allow your life force to grow strong, steady, and clear. You don't have to explain them. You just have to honor them. Healing doesn't always look like light and joy. Sometimes it looks like unraveling, like tears, like saying goodbye to parts of yourself that once helped you survive. Sometimes healing feels like chaos before it feels like peace. This too is life force moving. This too is sacred. You are not broken when you feel lost. You are not failing when your energy dips. These are invitations to pause, to listen, to realign. Every contraction is preparing the way for expansion. You are allowed to rest, not just physically but spiritually. You are allowed to step back from the noise, from the endless striving, and just be. In that stillness, your energy recalibrates. In that quiet, your body repairs. In that pause, your soul speaks. This is not laziness. This is alignment. In a world addicted to doing, choosing to be is an act of reclamation. You don't have to earn your worth. You are already enough. You are already whole. When your life force is flowing, you move through the world differently. Not with urgency, but with clarity. Not with force, but with presence. You begin to trust the timing of things. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop proving and start creating. Your energy does the talking. Your presence becomes the message. You start to feel the sacredness in the ordinary, the way the sunlight hits your skin, the way your breath feels at the end of the day, the way you laugh when you're not holding anything back. You begin to live in rhythm with life. You notice the cycles of your body, your emotions, the moon, the seasons. You stop expecting yourself to be linear. You honor your ebb and flow. Some days are meant for action. Others are meant for reflection. Some seasons are for building. Others are for letting go. When you stop fighting these natural shifts, your energy stops resisting. You begin to feel carried rather than burdened, guided rather than lost. Joy becomes a signal, not just a fleeting emotion, but a sign that your energy is aligned. You follow what lights you up, not because it's easy, but because it brings you to life. You stop settling for half-hearted connections and start seeking what nourishes your spirit. You choose people who see you, spaces that feel safe, and paths that feel true. This is not selfish. This is sacred discernment. Your life force is too precious to waste on what doesn't resonate. And yet, you don't have to be perfect to be powerful. Your life force is not diminished by your wounds. If anything, it becomes deeper, richer, more compassionate. When you've walked through darkness and still choose to open your heart, that is strength. When you've been silenced and still choose to speak, that is courage. When you've been broken and still choose to love, that is the life force in its most radiant form. The more you understand this energy, the more you begin to live intentionally. You become aware of your impact, not just what you say or do, but how your presence affects a room. You realize that your mood, your mindset, your inner world all ripple outward. You become a guardian of your energy, and in doing so, you uplift those around you. Not by effort, but by embodiment. You don't have to fix people. Just by being in alignment, you give others permission to return to themselves. The future of our world depends on people who are connected to their life force. People who are awake, aware, and grounded. People who live from love rather than fear, from truth rather than illusion. People who care for themselves, for others, for the earth. This isn't idealism. This is energy. Everything we create, everything we touch, everything we influence, it all begins with the quality of our energy. When we heal ourselves, we shift the field around us. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need to know every step. All you need is to keep listening, keep feeling, keep aligning. Let your body lead. Let your breath guide you. Let your intuition speak louder than the noise. Life is not a problem to be solved. It is an energy to be experienced. The more you allow that energy to move through you, the more life begins to unfold in ways your mind could never predict. You are not here by accident. You are not just a body with a brain. You are a field of energy, consciousness, and purpose. You are part of a larger intelligence, a greater mystery. You are a bridge between the seen and the unseen. Every time you breathe with awareness, every time you move with intention, every time you speak with truth, you bring more of that mystery into form. Your presence matters. Your energy matters. You don't have to do anything extraordinary to be powerful. You just have to be fully alive, fully here, fully you. That is the real magic. That is the real gift. You are the channel through which life expresses itself. And the more you honor your life force, the more life honors you in return.